Now let me discuss about what is called as pharmacovigilance. Right, what is called as the pharmacovigilance. Now, what do you mean by this pharmacovigilance? Remember, pharmacovigilance is the science and activities related to detection, assessment, understanding and prevention of the adverse effects or any other possible drug related problems. So, in the pharmacovigilance, what we are trying to do is we are trying to understand the adverse effects of the drug and we are trying to prevent the adverse effects of this particular drug. Okay, so it is the science and activities relating to activities relating to detection, assessment, detection, assessment, understanding, understanding and prevention of adverse effects or any other possible drug related problems. Any other possible drug related problems. So this is what is your pharmacovigilance. Alright. Now, after having discussed about what is called as pharmacovigilance, let me discuss a group of drugs which are called as the orphan drugs. Let me discuss what is called as the orphan drugs. Now let me tell you what do you mean by this term orphan drug. Remember, orphan drug is that particular pharmacological agent which is used to treat a rare medical condition. That is what is called as the orphan drug. Okay, so this particular orphan drug, this is the pharmacological agent that has been developed specifically, that has been developed specifically to treat a rare medical condition. To treat a rare medical condition, and that is what is called as the orphan drug. Now, when will you use the word rare medical condition? That particular disease is affecting a fewer than 2 lakh people, then we use the word rare medical condition. Okay, and the condition itself being referred to as an orphan disease. The condition itself is being called as the orphan disease. So a drug which is used in the treatment of the orphan disease is called as the orphan drug. And this particular orphan disease is one of the rare medical condition. Now let me tell you the examples of these particular orphan drugs. Now we have a drug which is called as deferriprone. We have a drug which is called as deferriprone. Now deferriprone, remember, it is the drug which is used to treat, a drug which is used to treat the iron overload in thalassemia patients. Okay, so deferriprone is the drug which is used to treat the iron overload in thalassemia patients. Next we have another important drug which is called as N-acetylcysteine. Right, another important drug which is called as N-acetylcysteine. Now, if you take this particular N-acetylcysteine is the drug used to treat the paracetamol poisoning. Right, used to treat the paracetamol poisoning. Alright, now a point what you should remember is the pharmaceutical companies will not like to develop such orphan drug. Why? Due to lack of the financial benefits. Right, due to lack of the financial benefits, the pharmaceutical companies will not like to develop that particular drug. So a separate law known as the Orphan Drug Act, right, a separate law which is called as the Orphan Drug Act. So this particular act was passed in 1983, right? This can be asked as multiple choice question. So the Orphan Drug Act was passed in 1983. Now, what was the intent? The intent of the Orphan Drug Act is to stimulate the research, development and approval of the drugs that treat this particular rare medical diseases. Okay, so the intent of this particular act was to stimulate the research, development and approval, right, to stimulate the research, development and approval of products, right, approval of products that treat rare diseases, right, that treat the rare diseases. That is what is called as your orphan drugs. Now, after having discussed about this particular orphan drugs, let me discuss what do you mean by what is called as essential drugs.